Hello, folks, and welcome to another Rangers review special video as we look ahead to Saturday's glamour friendly, you could say, against Manchester United at Murrayfield, no less. To give us a little bit of insight into the weekend's opponents, I'm delighted to say we're joined on the line by Yaz, who is the editor of the Man United Zone on Twitter and Instagram. So, Yaz, first of all, thank you for coming on.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Looking forward to this game. I think it'll be a right good occasion. Looks like tickets have sold well for it. In terms of United, in terms of today, recently they've been busy in the transfer market, haven't they? Bringing in Lenny Yoro. You happy about that signing?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it at all. When I saw Real Madrid were in it, I just thought, it's basically just dead set that he's going to go there. We did overpay slightly. I think apparently his market value was 50. We paid somewhere in the region of 60 to 65 million or something like that. So we have overpaid slightly, like we usually do. But I don't think it's as like it's a very good signing because he is 18. Still got still got a high ceiling. I think he's got loads of talent. I haven't watched too many of his games. I'll be completely honest. I had no idea we were linked with him till like a few weeks ago because we had been linked with Todibo, which is a player who is owned by the other club that Sir Jim Ratcliffe owns or that Ineos owns. But we got told at the start of the month that you can't sell one player from one club that you own to the other. So we had to move on from him, and I feel like we've got a pretty good replacement now in Euro, and we're trying to get. We tried to put in a bid for Branthwaite, and they said no. What was it for, like 50 million? And they basically turned it down straight away. But yeah, and I'm also happy with the signing of Xerxes. It'll be pretty good to add to the striking department because Martial's left now. So Højlund was basically our only striker, and he did get injured a few times last season, so we can't just rely on one centre forward. So yeah, overall I'd say it's been okay so far, but I feel like we could probably make one or two more signings if we sell the right players this summer.
Yeah. And how's the overall feeling amongst the United fans this summer? Because coming off the back of what was ultimately disappointing 8th place finish in the league, but finishing on a high, I guess, with that FA Cup win over Manchester City. How's the feeling amongst the fan base?
So I was at the final. I was there when we won it. I feel like people were more shocked than happy because no one expected us to like get anything from the game. But I feel like City was still in party mode from winning the league like a week prior to that, and they just seemed a bit off. And thankfully we had a lot of our main team back, which we didn't have for most of the season. That starting 11 that started the final, we'd only seen that lineup once that entire season, and we just been hit with a terrible injury, curse, which it's just weird because I've never seen that, right? We had like a really good season in, was it 21-22? We won the Carabao Cup. We made it to the 22-23. We won the Carabao Cup. We made it to the FA Cup final. We made it to the Europa League quarterfinals. We didn't lose a single home game other than the first one of the season. And I think it was mainly because we played so many games. I think we played near like 65, 66 games, which is like ridiculous. It came down to a game like every 2.5 days, which ultimately cost us the season after because the injuries just started piling up. And by January, we basically had a team that was like terrible. We had to play centre backs at right back. We had to play right backs at left back. It was a nightmare. But I feel like we managed to get ourselves over the line just with the FA Cup win. We managed to knock Newcastle out of a European spot, and we took their place in the Europa League. So we have some hope for this season because Ineos have started to actually show that they care. They've brought in people from the top. The person that they brought in from City. We've also got Dan Ashworth from Newcastle. You know, they've been making a lot of movement in the backroom stuff, which is really great to see because we haven't had a footballing structure since like 2006, 2007. So it's good to see that. There are some, and we just want to take everything game by game because you never know with us. We could have a really good week and then just lose like 6 games on the bounce. You never know with us.
Yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it, for United fans? Ever since Fergie left, I think more downs than ups. Van de Man's also returned. Speaking of backroom staff, Yaz happy with that? But Ruud coming back to the club.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, same. Yeah, so him and Ruud van Nistelrooy, those two are big. I think Ruud will really help the strikers like Højlund, who needs someone to guide him because he's still only 21, so he's got years and years ahead of him. And Xerxes, who's only 24, which is still pretty good in my opinion. But you know, nowadays 23, 24 is old in football. But you know,
if we're going with the Yamin Lamal ometer, then they're on the other end of the scale.
Yeah, I was there in the final, England against Spain. Yeah, it was painful. It was so good. Yeah, he's so good. He's so good. Like he is unreal.
Yeah, he's a top player. He's a top player. A lot of talk then, even despite winning the FA Cup, Yaz, about Ten Hag's future, and it was looking like United were going to replace him at the helm. But I think many were maybe raised a few eyebrows that Jim Ratcliffe is backing Ten Hag to lead the club forward. Do you think you can have a better season this coming season with him at the helm?
I think so. We saw a little hint of how well we can finish in his first season. We came third. We won a trophy. You know, made it to 2 finals, quarterfinals. We played really well. I don't really want to count last season as like a big deal because you know injuries were crazy. I'd never seen anything like that. So we'll just put that down to you know a bit of bad luck, but I don't want to say like you know he's completely like scot free. He you know we still did lose some games pretty badly. For example, we lost to Crystal Palace 4-0.
We watched that game.
It was a horror show. It was terrible. We lost to one of our worst games I saw. Like in person, I go to all the home games, and I go to some of the away games. We played West Ham away. I think it was like in February, and we lost 2-1 or 2-0. It was a horrendous game. We like the team by January just seemed tired. We got knocked out of the Champions League in the group stages. We finished 4th, and the team just seemed like mentally and physically tired. And I feel like that FA Cup win really energized them. You know, really gave them hope that we could really go on and do something with some of the players in this team. Some of them have to go, but most of them, I would say 7 out of 11 of the starting team, I'm sure will stay with us for a long time and hopefully be very successful.
So I mean, the pre-season campaign. I know you lost to Rosenborg last weekend over there in Norway. It was mainly a young-looking United side, but there was a few household names in there. Wan-Bissaka, Johnny Evans, Casemiro was a captain. Marcus Rashford and Mason Mount all started the game. Do you expect Ten Hag to play a number of the big hitters on Saturday against Rangers?
So I know the Dutch players and Kobbie Mainoo and Shaw won't be there because they're all on holiday after the final. But I know a lot of the other team will be there. So the players you mentioned, they'll definitely be there again. I think Harry Maguire's coming back from injury, so he'll probably get 45 minutes. Lindelof, Onana's back. Anthony, I mean, well, he's not really much to like look at, but Garnacho, He's on holiday because they just finished the Copa America 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
Martinez and Garnacho will probably be on holiday as well. But I think Sancho's there. Fernandez could be back, but I'm not sure. He might still be on holiday. But we've got some of the team, but we don't have like a fully like strong team. It'll probably look a bit similar to the game against Rosenborg, but with like a few more first team players
Yeah.
who didn't go to internationals.
Yeah, and you someone that looks in depth at results at this point in time against. I mean, the Rosenborg game. I know it's a defeat, but is it all about? I'd imagine just getting players match fit, ready for the domestic campaign getting underway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've been off about a month and a half now. The ones who haven't gone to any international game, so they'll be lacking a bit of match sharpness, a bit of match fitness, and things like that. And I feel like that's really what this period is for. Make sure that by the time the season starts, that you're in tip top shape. Because we can't have a repeat of last season. It would just be horrendous. Yeah, we do have a few big games coming up. We've got Arsenal, Liverpool, and City in the Community Shield as well. So we just need to make sure that like we don't treat it as like a practice match, more of just like a make sure our heads in the right like space, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good game. It'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good spectacle. And in terms of aspirations for this coming season, then Yaz, and the targets ahead, what do you think is achievable for Ten Hag this year?
So I'll go based off of the signings we've got now. Obviously, things could change in the next few weeks. I've got no idea, but so far, I'd be happy if we got top 5 or top 6. European football, I think, is key for a club of this like size. You would want to play in Europe every season.
Yeah.
Making it to the latter stages of the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, it'll always be nice to give the team like a little bit of a boost. Winning those games will give them a bit of form. And in the Europa League, if we make it out of the group stages, I'll be happy because last season was just not. Yeah, it was just not it.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. Less said about it, the better. But yeah, it's been brilliant having you on. Yeah, as if people maybe want to find out more work that you guys do, how can they find you?
So my personal account on Twitter is at MUFCYaz. And I also am the editor for Man United Zone on Twitter and on Instagram.
Excellent stuff. I'll bring the links in the description as well, folks. But it's been great having you on. Yeah, score prediction for Saturday. How do you see it going?
I reckon you might nick it. I'm going for a 2-1 Rangers win.
Oh, there we go. We'll be happy with that. But if you're heading along, folks, enjoy it. I'm sure it'll be a cracking game. But thank you, Yaz. Hopefully you enjoyed that, folks. Wee bit of insight into Saturday's opposition. Bye for now.